10 minutes past 8 o'clock, 66 degrees at WALLradio. Good morning. Welcome to you and welcome to my guest in the studio. We've never met before, but Michael Sussman is here, who is a candidate for Orange County Executive. Good morning. Welcome.
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Sure. I want to be educated, and I think the people that listen to WALLradio would also like to be educated on what you think, who you are, what you would like to do, and here you are. Tell us about yourself, please.
Well, I've been in Orange County for 40 years. I've been a constitutional and civil rights lawyer, environmental lawyer, criminal defense lawyer occasionally, though that's not the primary focus of my law practice. I do what's called public law. Public law brings me in touch with people who have problems that really interface with government, and that's really what I've focused on in my legal career. I did run for county executive 24 years ago, so it's a bit strange for some to see me back here 24 years later.
I hope you saved all of the campaign signs.
Much of it is still relevant. Unfortunately, perhaps, the same issues that we had then, we in a way still have now. Overdevelopment of a certain sort that deprives communities of their character, a lack of concern for transparency, a pay-to-play environment. These issues have been constant for most of the years I've been in public life in Orange County. I'm running at this time because we've had 12 years of Steve Newhouse. And the way I look at things, and people can agree or disagree, if you have an agenda, 12 years is enough to implement it. It's that simple. And if you can't get done in 12 years what you really feel you need to get done, then maybe you're not able to accomplish it. He's had a supermajority, which means that Republicans have overwhelmingly dominated the county legislature, and yet we have not addressed transportation, housing for our young, the environmental degradation, which continues in many of our communities. So to me, and really also corruption and transparency, I've started this campaign strongly advocating, as I still do, for a county controller. A county controller would be an elected position in charge of our county finances. You say, well, why do we need that?
Well, let me ask that. Why do we need that?
Okay, good question. We need that in part because we've had a series of really scandals. How many members of the public know about them or not, it's not clear to me, although going door to door, some people have read and know about it. IDA members appointed by Mr. Newhouse pled guilty to felony charges a few years ago, and those felony charges derive from the fact that the head of the IDA, who they were supposed to be supervising as a board appointed by Mr. Newhouse, simply entered into a contract with his own company to gain approximately $1,200,000 in benefits for himself while he was getting a full salary from the IDA. And the IDA board members sort of winked and nodded and did nothing about it. More recently, Langdon Chapman, who's one of Mr. Newhouse's most important political advisors, somehow his brother-in-law received a no-bid contract, which started at $50,000 for computer IT consulting work, and that morphed into $800,000 plus within a 4 or 5 month period. No bid, no procurement process, etc. Now,
how would a controller change that?
Because the controller will be responsible independently for monitoring county finances, and he or her own reputation would be on the line. Every contract would have to go through him or her. We would not have a situation where the person who's the head of financial services for the county was under the county executive, reported to the county executive, and could be fired. We had an example of that recently in Washington where Mr. Trump didn't like statistics that had come out of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. He felt the unemployment rate was being overstated to his detriment. So what he did was fire the person. That person had no independent status and could be fired. We're in the same position here. I don't want that. Even if I'm county executive, I want another set of eyes. What I found interesting is that when I proposed that, immediately Mr. Newhouse's comment was, I don't need anybody overlooking me or supervising me. That was his response. I don't think that's responsible. I think everyone needs checks and balances, and I think a county controller is important. But my candidacy is motivated by other things as well. The IDA, which I mentioned earlier, which is really a vehicle of the county economic development office, right?
But to interrupt you, if I may, the people at the time that were running the IDA were removed. At least that was handled once we found out about that. Well, but it still bothers you?
It bothers me tremendously because while you say it was handled, the IDA since then has been doing things that are fiscally entirely irresponsible. And for example, there are 3 companies in Orange County that have received a total of about $50 million in tax breaks. The 3 of them are CPV, which is a fossil fuel generating plant, which is operating without a permit and has been operating
in
Wawayanda, and has been operating without a permit for 6 years. Orange County leadership said they opposed CPV. This is what Mr. Newhouse said publicly, but yet the IDA gave them very significant tax breaks. Dan Scammer, which is along the Hudson River.
Yeah.
And remember, the purpose of the IDA is job creation. We're trying to create jobs. Well, CPV has created a grand total of 20 jobs. In exchange for approximately $12 million in subsidies, they've created 20 jobs. Dan Scammer, and I have the data from the IDA's own reports. I'm not making the data up. It's in their annual reports. Dan Scammer has received about $9 million in subsidies. In exchange for $9 million in subsidies, and you see I'm laughing, they've created 1 job.
Oh.
And Legoland, which, as you know, operates seasonally. So people who work at Legoland really don't have full-time jobs. They have seasonal jobs. We've given them approximately $17 million in subsidies. Now, my point is those subsidy dollars can go much better to grow small businesses in our county, support agricultural endeavors in our county for other purposes which do not devalue our county environmentally and actually create jobs.
Like what? How would you create jobs?
Well, here are 2 examples that are important. We have an agriculture sector in our county. As you probably know, you've been in Orange County your whole life, from what I understand. Orange County has always had agriculture. Big part of our
Absolutely.
county. Our county's tradition, we ballyhoo it, we speak about it. We have no Department of Agriculture. We have no Commissioner of Agriculture.
We keep losing farms.
We have no agriculture policy in our county. So I've been meeting with the Farm Board and with farmers around the county. And what have I been told? I've been told 2 principal infrastructure needs, both of which are, I think, major job creators. First, we need processing for dairy, a processing plant. Second, we need a processing plant for meat and beef items. In other words, we have beef farming and we have dairy, but we have no processing local, so they have huge transportation and transaction costs to process their products. Second of all, the Wallkill River needs to be dredged. Why does it need to be dredged? It needs to be dredged because flooding is a major recurrent problem for our vegetable producers who are along the Wallkill River through Pine Island. And these individuals make huge investments. And as we know from recent history, there have been 4 floods in the last 15 years, which have basically wiped them out.
Yes.
And that's a consequence of the state of the river. Now, it's going to take multi-state cooperation, the Army Corps of Engineers, a federal agency. It's going to be a very big labor-intensive project, but we need to do it. There's been no discussion of doing it in the county. So these are among the kinds of things that need to happen. There are many, many other issues. Let's talk about Valley View for a moment. I'm sure you know what Valley View is, and your listeners know what it is. It's a major facility that I stopped the closure and sale of 12 years ago. The county legislature under Mr. Newhouse was getting rid of Valley View. I thought that was a terrible idea. It's a place where many people call home. It's been an institution here for 140 years.
Every few years you seem to hear again, oh, they're going to sell Valley View again.
Exactly. And they're devaluing Valley View significantly now. How are they doing that? 2 ways. This is important for people to gather. We get Medicaid and Medicare reimbursements because it's not only a senior facility, it's a rehabilitation facility. So both Medicare and Medicaid come into play here. About $10 to $12 million a year, which comes back from the federal government in reimbursements, is being spent and put into our general budget, not being reinvested in Valley View. So Valley View residents tell me the programming there is rather meager, and the investment in the facility is meager. And most importantly, we have a state-approved census of 360 people at Valley View. We have 230 people there now, and we have significant waiting lists. We're not utilizing the facility appropriately and properly.
Wow. Okay. And what would you, think about what you would do to change that. We need to take a quick break.
Of course.
We're talking with Michael Sussman, who is here as a candidate for Orange County Executive, and we're going to talk with him more in just a moment on WALL. It's 8:21 and 67 degrees at WALLradio. Michael Sussman is my guest this morning, candidate for Orange County Executive. So we were talking about Valley View the nursing facility, rehab facility. What would you do? What would you do to help it, to keep it?
Well, the first thing I did was give them my mother's piano. Because there are many people there who are musical, and I felt it was important for there to be a piano in the lobby that people could play. Go play it.
Yep.
But with more seriousness, we have a serious staffing issue at Valley View.
At many nursing facilities, yes, absolutely.
And those who know Valley View also remember that during COVID, equipment was not properly distributed. Grants for equipment were not sought by the county or obtained by the county. And there's a real bad taste in the mouth of staff people there about just the way the facility has been run. So first of all, we have to really respect the facility. And as you said a moment ago, stop every few years talking about closing it, privatizing it, embrace it as a critical facility.
It is critical. It's needed, I think.
And when I fought to save the facility 12 years ago, there's an article in the then county newspaper, we really don't have one now, in which I spoke about this being a backbone facility of the county, a facility that we people of conscience had to support and maintain. So we need a different attitude, and I'll tell you one of the things I would do. I would start a volunteer program which brought individuals of whatever age, and I'm not saying just young people should go there or older people should go there, and mentor and work with each individual. I'd love to have a buddy system so that every single person who resided there had people, not just their family, who cared about them, played games with them, engaged in discussions with them, were interested in them. We have a county of 400,000 plus people, and when I floated this idea recently at a meeting, many people said they were supportive of that and would participate in it. We need to embrace the individuals there and not exclude them and isolate them from our community. And I think that's something that's very doable. We obviously need to increase staff salaries so that we can, in fact, attract people. We have a $200 million county surplus right now. That's your money, my money, every listener's money. You know, households may run surpluses and think that's positive. When you have that kind of surplus on a county level, it's not positive because it's our money. Our money doesn't belong in some bank account not being spent. Balanced budgets are one thing. Mr. Newhouse brags about the nature of the surplus. To me, that's indicative of someone who has not properly balanced our budget and not used the resources available for important purposes. We don't need a rainy day fund in Orange County of that magnitude. When we had a flood in Highland Falls on July 7th of 2023, and we had many people in urgent need, not one penny of county money went to assist them. In my opinion, that's irresponsible. Valley View needs help, and we can help it, both humanly and fiscally.
Okay. What are some of the other issues close to your heart?
Well, we've talked about the control. We've talked about Valley View. We've talked about agriculture. Obviously, the issue with warehouses is a very huge issue, particularly in the western part of the county. Communities like Wawayanda, I'm sure you now know, are facing 10 warehouses along a particular corridor, something like 5 million square feet of warehousing. People in Wawayanda rightfully feel it's going to congest their community. It's going to congest their community. It's going to congest their roads. It's going to create a lot of air pollution, and it's going to change the character of their community. That's something close to my heart. I had a farm in Wawayanda at one point in the 1980s. I know the community is a beautiful community, and again, fostering the agricultural nature of that community is still something that we can do. We have markets, huge markets, that are very close to us. And we haven't been able to marry our farming communities sufficiently with those markets so as to have those communities flourish, the farming communities flourish. We still can do that. So that's an issue of great importance to me. Also, we have emergency service issues in our county. Some of our communities have excellent response times. Many of our communities don't. There needs to be more centralization of response times in Orange County. I believe that the emergency services can be rationalized and we can save a good deal of money if we coordinate them. Transportation is an issue that you go around this county and hear about all the time. Everyone's talking about it.
Transportation is tough. Yeah.
Transportation's tough. But what we have in the county, community by community, we have some transportation being provided publicly, but it's not knitted together. It's not networked together. So there's no coordination. Again, after 12 years, that long since should have been accomplished. It hasn't been. Obviously, the other issue of great importance is housing. And how do we produce housing that actually matches the salaries that are being paid to many of our workers? As I travel the community and I walk and I learn about each of the housing developments, rents $2,500 to $4,000. and I learn what income people have in the county from county-based jobs. And literally, if they spent all their money on rent, they still wouldn't be able to pay the rent in many cases. So we have to have more of a match, and that's not something there's been any focus on, and there needs to be. There's a whole agenda of priorities. We have 45 toxic waste sites in our county. How many people know about them?
I didn't know that.
How many people know where they are? In 2016 and 17, I did a study of those sites, which I published. Those sites remain today, with one exception, toxic, polluting, creating cancer clusters. No one's talking about it. We don't have a health commissioner in Orange County. We have an acting health commissioner for the last 2.5 years. We had an individual who was supposed to be on the MTA board when congestion pricing issue was paramount. Our county, many people were concerned about it. We have a seat at the board. Mr. Newhouse didn't nominate anyone for 3 years to fill that seat. So these are some of the examples of misgovernment, lack of governance that I think need to be corrected and can be corrected. And of course, the biggest issue for many is the pay to play. We cannot have pay to play. I'm not running for political office in order to enlarge my portfolio. That's not my issue. And it's not to present jobs to my cronies or my family members or any of that. We've had government in our county that's been perceived, and in many cases, actually, for those in a small group. And that small group has to be well expanded so that we have everybody's talents participating in government. So those are some of the issues that I think are cardinal. November 4th is the election. Early voting starts October 25th. Please, people, visit Facebook, see the site, Sussman for County Executive, because you'll be able to learn more about the issues of great concern and what we intend to do about them.
Yes, your website was quite interesting. There's one section, 30 issues in 30 days, where people can get a summary of what your issue is, what your opinion is on various issues. So
the last thing I want to say is it's important that the two candidates debate. I've sent Mr. Newhouse a letter asking him to debate. I've informally asked him before, but now I've sent him a formal letter. I've suggested that we go to WALLradio and other media outlets that I won't mention, as well as organizations. When I ran in 2001 against Mr. Diana, we had 10 debates in 6 weeks. Mr. Newhouse has yet to respond to my request for debates. I think that we need to hear both candidates' accomplishments over their careers. You know, I've had to sue Orange County many times. He talked about that. Why did I have to sue Orange County? We weren't providing services for children through our early intervention program. Children were supposed to be getting education. They weren't. I had to sue to make the county do it. I did sue, and they successfully are doing better at it than they ever did, and on and on and on. So I'd like to have the opportunity for us to debate so that all the people who wanted to could tune in, watch, see the candidates in action, and understand what we want to do for the future of the county.
Understood. Thank you so much for coming here today. I appreciate you coming in person and giving us your time.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be with you. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Michael Sussman, candidate for Orange County Executive. His website, one more time, sussmanfororange.com. It's 8:30 at WALLradio. Let's get into a Wall News update.